enjoy the show. The Voice 17104, a station for everyone.
You really about to do it? 40 acres in the mule. This is bigger than the music. You really about to do it?
Yes, we're really about to do it. Hi, welcome to the all-new Ron Chappell Show. We come to you from Harrisburg, PA. Our focus here is new businesses and Harrisburg newsmakers. And right now we'll go to our street reporter, Khaldoon Scoop Rashid. Khaldoon, are you there? Our street reporter, please. Khaldoon.
The city of Harrisburg is telling business owners that city police officers will no longer be allowed to be paid by local businesses to patrol the downtown area at night. This comes after a recent incident in which video cameras caught on tape an inebriated individual that was being assaulted by law enforcement in the middle of the street on 2nd. Harrisburg International Airport reports an increase in airline travel in its passenger report by 10% as of March 24, 2025. At least 1,468,723 passengers have been flying in and out of Harrisburg International Airport without any incidents or accidents. Hooray. Harrisburg School District demotes Sci-Fi Principal Dr. Akipam, who was relieved of duty due to the expiration of her certification. In an interview with Mackenzie Jarrell, members of the doctor's family told ABC 27 News that Dr. Akipam was battling stage 3 cancer and needs her medical insurance. Her demotion still keeps her employed now as an English teacher with what appears to be a $40,000 a year pay cut. Amazon employees raised over 50,000 containers of Play-Doh for Harrisburg's Caitlin Smiles. Caitlin Smiles is a 501c3 nonprofit organization based in Harrisburg on North 6th Street that delivers arts and crafts activities to children in medical facilities. Today is the official first day of spring, and as of today, based on the Harrisburg School District calendar, there are approximately 73 days of school left, remaining until the tentative last day of school on May 21st, 2025. A new music series called the Strawberry Square Music Series, featuring live music on Fridays at the UPMC Clockbox stage in the Strawberry Square Atrium, including the Noon Jazz Festival, has already begun. You can expect a dynamic lineup of performances, food and beverage vendors, and the opportunity to participate in a VIP program with special prizes, which brings an added entertainment touch to Harrisburg's Third and the Bird. The construction efforts of Eden Village, USA, has come to Harrisburg and is finally on the move. Eden Village is building nonprofit tiny home communities behind PennDOT, where there currently exists in the same general area Veterans Outreach of PA tiny houses. Eden Village of Harrisburg is a tiny homes gated community being built to get Harrisburg, Pennsylvania's homeless friends off the streets and into a secure living environment that need of supportive atmosphere to thrive. At $300 a month for rent. Eden Village has been featured on the Kelly Clarkson Show and has proven its ability to give a hand up to our homeless, taking them from survival to sanctuary. And finally, the Gambit Theater Group, located at 15 North 4th Street, Harrisburg, PA, is getting ready for this year's version of its Shakespeare in the Park. This year, 2025, marks Gambit Theater Group's Harrisburg Shakespeare's Company 30th year of annual free performances of Shakespeare in the Park. And according to the Bird magazine, Gambit Theater has already long since paid off its $1 million purchase of the First Church of God and has renovated it to accommodate its 2 troupes, the Popcorn Hat Players, Children's Theater, and Harrisburg Shakespeare Company. And that's my street report. for the voice, Radio 17104, Harrisburg Internet Radio. Back to you, Ron.
Okay, Caldoon, thank you for your report, but I want to ask you about something. You said that today was the first official day of spring. I thought spring began on March the 21st.
Well, I'll put it this way. I'm going by my calendar, because it also, like, as a note, it says spring begins, and in a couple of days it'll be the last quarter of the moon, and it usually traditionally does follow a few days after St. Patrick's Day, give or take. But then last year was leap year, so it can go either way as far as how many hours it is. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's still the beginning of spring.
Okay, really, I wish I would have studied for this test, but anyway, thanks for your report.
Great job, Caldoon.
Yeah, Chris, do you have a question or comment for Caldoon Rashid?
No, sir. He's always on point with his news comments, man. So enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you so much for your input and contribution on the program.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
I got one
Have a good
one final question for you. Okay, when the summer's supposed to start? Now, if you say February, well, but anyway,
Ooh.
thank you, Cal.
Well, let's see.
Thanks for
Good Friday, then there's Easter,
Oh,
and then
come on, man. You're making a speech now.
goodness.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great
Thanks,
day.
Caldoon. Peace, bro. We'll see you next week, man.
We love you. Have a great day.
All right, brother. Peace out.
Peace, brother. Okay, now for the community news, Pastor Chris Thomas.
All right. Again, it's always a privilege and an honor to have Brother Caldoon to join us on the program.
Yes, it is.
Again, for our community news and announcements for the Harrisburg area in brief, truly we can't cover them all, but again, if you do have announcements that need to be announced on the Ron Chappell Show, feel free for them to Ron or myself, and we'll make sure we get them on there in short order. Our first announcement, again, rest in peace to our dear brother, community activist Carl Singleton. Again, we finally have a confirmation on those services, Ron. Those services will be on the 29th of March at the Scottish Rite Cathedral. Again, that's located at 2701 North 3rd Street in Harrisburg. Again, the viewings from 9 a.m. until noon. Service is at 12 o'clock. And again, for cards or donations, there's a P.O. box you can send them to, which is 60382 Harrisburg, PA 17102. And also, flowers can be sent to the Scottish Rite Cathedral, 2701 North 3rd Street in Harrisburg. Repast will immediately follow the service across from that hall where the program and services will be held. Our next announcement is from mayoral candidate Lamont Jones. Again, Brother Jones is inviting us to a campaign fundraiser and mixer event. Again, that's going on Thursday, April the 3rd, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Harrisburg Midtown Arts Center. Again, is HMAC. For those of you that are familiar with that name, North 3rd Street, Harrisburg. Again, there's several different contribution levels. I won't go into all of those, but again, for more information, please contact them at lamontjonesformayor.com. And last but not least, Ron, let's see what we got here. I think I got one more. The Harrisburg District Conference is going on Friday, March 28th, which is again tomorrow. Missionary candidate and worship service. Again, that's going on at Wesley Union, AME Zion Church. Again, they're located at 2219 North 5th Street here in Harrisburg. Missionaries are invited to wear white attire with stoles. More information, reach out to Wesley AME Church. And again, the Church in the Hood that could do you so good. So again, back to you, Ron, and thank you again, man, for this opportunity to share during our community announcements.
Okay, thank you, Chris. And we now have the homegoing ceremony date for Carl Singleton. And again, my condolences to his family and loved ones. Unfortunately, I won't be able to attend because I do have an obligation to work out of town that day. But I send my well wishes. And Carl, again, Carl was a very, very good man, a very good community leader here in Harrisburg. And from the the housing area of Hall Manor. He rose from Hall Manor to be a very well-respected community leader. So we salute your soul, Carl Singleton. May God continually bless your soul. And I pray peace to the family of the late Carl Singleton. On another note, one of our former sponsors here for the Real Rap with Ron Chapel show, and that's Joe Mama's Kitchen. I believe they're over in the 2200 block of Dairy Street. Their final day in business, I believe, is this Saturday. And so if you have time to go and stop by, they have some fine, delicious food over there and some very, very good pastries, cakes, pies, cookies. You can find them right there at Joe Mama's Kitchen. And we really appreciate them being a sponsor of the Real Rap with Ron Chapel show here at The Voice 17104. Okay, let's move right along. We continue here with this segment of Campaign Central here on The Voice 17104. You know, we have been inviting candidates that will be appearing on the May 20th primary ballot here in Harrisburg to appear on the program to let you all know why you should be selecting them on May the 20th. And every candidate has been given the opportunity to come on the program for the past 6 weeks. And so if you didn't see your candidate on here, well, it was because of their own personal prerogative. Well, today I'm pleased to say that we have a candidate here that will be appearing on the May 20th ballot, and it'll be for the office of Harrisburg City Council. And if someone is calling in right now, it's too early to call in. And so, Chris, if you could turn it down, please. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you all the telephone number where you'll be able to call in and speak directly to the candidate when that time comes about. We'll let you know when the line is open. But the number right now, for those of you that don't have the number, is 717-889-7181. That's 717-889-7181. Okay, now without further ado, we present to you candidate for Harrisburg City Council, Mr. Basir.Vincent. Welcome, Mr. Vincent.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you for having me.
Okay, sir, we salute you for willing to step up to be an integral part of Harrisburg's government here. And I want to ask you first, do you have an opening statement? And Chris, could you take me off the screen, please?
Absolutely. First, I just want to introduce myself to anyone who might not know me. My name is Basir.Vincent. I'm actually from Plainfield, New Jersey. I moved out to this area about 14 years ago. I have a background in manufacturing. I actually have a degree in mechanical engineering from Penn State. Whilst I moved out here, I actually started a nonprofit, Young Professionals of Color. Myself, my wife, and a few other friends started that nonprofit. I had a chance to work in the school district by working for the Foundry Makerspace. So I worked with project-based learning. I'm currently employed as a virtual manager for ProRank Business Solutions. So I've done a lot of things in this community. I am looking to bring my skill set as a problem solver, as a critical thinker to City Council. I've had a chance to work in this space before. A few years ago, I did a project where I broke down the city's comprehensive plan. I did a weekly video. It's probably about 200 hours of content. Breaking down the comprehensive plan, breaking down the city budget, and presenting it in a way that the community makes sense. Again, I want to take all of these skills and bring it to the city to use as a critical thinker. So, Basir.Vincent for City Council. That's my opening statement.
Okay, how long have you been a resident of Harrisburg?
So technically I've only been a resident for about 1.5 years. I actually, when I first moved out to this area, I lived in Mechanicsburg because the factory I worked at was right in Mechanicsburg. But I've been doing work in the city of Harrisburg for all of that time. Probably after the first year that I moved out to Mechanicsburg. The property that I live in now, my wife actually purchased probably about 7 years ago. But then if anyone checks, because I want to make sure I'm clear, if anyone checks for the record, I've actually only been a resident for about 1.5 years now.
Okay, do you have children in the Harrisburg school system?
I do not have any direct children in the Harrisburg school system. Like I mentioned, I donate a significant amount of time. I've done that one through the Foundry and also through our Adopt a Classroom program in Mechanicsburg. And I also like to tell people I'm a very strong uncle. My brothers have about 6 children between the two of them. So myself and my wife, unfortunately, we do not have kids at the time.
Okay, okay. Now let me ask you, what would you bring to Harrisburg City Council if you sat on that panel? Why should the voters elect you to Harrisburg City Council?
All right. Well, what I bring is my experience and my ability to be extremely competent at the job. Why I say that is I've spent a lot of time going through particular documents. So I'll first start with the comprehensive plan, which breaks down a 20-year plan for the city, and it's very, very future forward. It's a 400-page document. I kind of read through not just that one, but several versions of it, almost for fun. It's something that I do. Even when I visit other places, I sometimes go to their city websites and I peruse what their plans look like. I'd bring that inquisitive nature to city council and really start putting forward the tools that I think would would allow us to actually, move forward on some plans that, from my perspective, we've been stagnant on for a while.
Okay, tell us about YPOC for those that are not familiar. I believe that's young people of color.
Yes.
Yeah, what is the mission of young people of color?
Absolutely. The mission of young professionals of color is
professionals.
to. Yep.
Stand corrected.
Oh no. It is provide community for young Black and Brown professionals in the greater Harrisburg region. The reason why I started it when I moved out here, especially being a transplant, that's one thing that I think a lot of people are always looking for. We're looking for community. Sometimes we find that community in the church. Sometimes we find that community in other organizations. But really, for people moving to a new area, trying to get to learn and meet native people of Harrisburg as well as other people moving in, found that a little bit difficult, especially being in a satellite area such as Mechanicsburg. So my wife and a few friends, we started getting together. It was actually originally young Black professionals of color. At the time, we were looking at kind of the state of things, and we realized, hey, we really need to bring together people, professionals in this area to, one, be able to start interacting with natives, and then we started meeting more native residents of Harrisburg, and we all came together and we began to form Young Professionals of Color. Then we started those members. We really just started asking the question, well, what does the community need? It kind of started with just happy hours, but we met a few teachers that were local to the area, and they were talking about certain things they needed in their classroom. And they weren't very much things. It was pens, papers, activities for the kids. So we were like, we can do that. So we organized and we started running our Adopt a Classroom program. Wow. Really, a lot of our other activities have always been based around that. We collect together as a community, we talk, we have conversation, and then we find needs, and then we find a way to address those needs.
Okay. Some may be curious. What is your nationality, Mr. Vincent?
So I have a very, what I like to call an interesting mix. My mom is from New York, and then my dad is actually a native of Trinidad and Tobago. So I was actually born in New Jersey. My parents, so a little bit of mix. So I have some African American and some Trinidadian in my background.
Okay. Can you cook? I think of the West Indian food.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I was just joking about that.
No, I love it. Listen, pepper sauce is one of my favorite things to put on food. I was just out there, and if anyone knows, doubles, fresh coconut water. There's certain things that are that you get as a treat if you're if you get a chance to go to the islands.
Okay, let me bring Pastor Chris Thomas into the conversation. You have a question or comment for Mr. Vincent? Chris?
Sure. Again, Brother Vincent, I couldn't think of a better fit for the city of Harrisburg, because we know your heart, we know your record, your work that you've already put in the city of Harrisburg. My question, being the forward thinker you are, I'm sure you could come up with a word of encouragement to share with the discouraged voters in Harrisburg concerning the political mudslinging
Yep.
that is currently going on. But it seems it's always going on, but it seems like it's on an increase. And it's basically between our black and brown people, as you put it. What could you say just to bring, because that almost discourages people from getting involved in the process, seeing, this person against that person and this person trying to discredit this one, instead of just allowing your qualifications to shine ahead of you. What could you say to the voters to keep them encouraged, to keep them engaged, to empower them, not to be moved by the political mudslinging, but press on and make sure you select the right candidate for the job, sir, please and thank you.
First, I want to highlight one of the good things about this is democracy is always a tough process. And it's actually good that we have several people going for a position and being able to come out there and state where they're from. And this is the most important time to engage, right? You should be listening to people like myself. You should be listening, that's why what this show represents is so important. And I'm so happy that there are so many citizens in this city that are engaged. I know sometimes, especially when things get tense, especially when it's around things that are important, people get very emotional. And yes, it comes across as attacks. But I do like to say, I've had a chance to talk with a lot of the candidates for mayor and for city council. I think a lot of people, their heart is in the right place. Now, what I think needs to be done is people need to listen and understand who might be most competent for the job. And that is the work. That is the work of democracy. That is the reason why we have elections. So, yeah, a lot of it sounds tense, but a good primary election, I believe, leads to better candidates. And I think that's something that we can learn. And local elections very much matter. If anyone's concerned about the things that are happening in the world, I'm going to tell you, City Council, myself, I plan to make myself available. Your mayor, those are people that you can reach directly. So it's good that we're having this this dialogue out here in the open, transparent for everyone to see. So I want people to highlight on that, is that, yes, we should be having dialogue. We should be having debate, because iron sharpens iron. It's going to make us a stronger city from it.
That's good. Well said. Thank you, man.
Absolutely. Now, are you open to phone calls from the voters, Mr. Vincent?
Oh, I absolutely am, and I encourage it.
Okay, so now is your opportunity if you want to call in and speak directly with Mr. Vincent. If there's questions that Chris or myself didn't ask that you want answered, please give us a call. The number is 717-889-7181, 717-889-7181. So the phone lines are open, so call in, please. All we're going to ask is that you be a resident of Harrisburg and that you can express yourself without using any profanity. Those are the only guidelines. Okay, we know you have questions out there. If you don't want to call, if you want to write in the questions, Chris can. Okay, we have a call coming in right now. Hi, you on the all-new Ron Chapel Show with candidate basir.Vincent. Who are we speaking with?
Hi, this is, I would say, somewhat of a competitor, but more of a friend. This is Rob Lawson, who's also running for Harrisburg City Council.
Good afternoon, Rob Lawson. Okay, you're on the phone now with basir.Vincent.
All right. Hello, Basir. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, Rob. How are you?
Good. I wanted to ask you, because this has been a conversation that's been ongoing here recently, and it comes to look at our city in our current state. We're in a crisis point where we're seeing a lot of our downtown area kind of fade, and we're trying to figure out how on earth do we get this to become revitalized again. And I just wanted to know if you had a plan to help us revitalize our city.
I appreciate that question. And, the answer is yes, I do have a plan. And one of the things that I want to always bring attention to is part of my plan is actually fundamentally bringing back a plan that exists. Inside of the comprehensive plan, there is a economic development chapter which lays out industries and ways to enhance and pull small businesses to this city. what we need to do as city council is make sure we are mapping and laying that out. This is the difference between ideas that go unexecuted and ideas that can actually become executed. So the first steps and the first key aspects of my plan are to make sure that these improvement ideas are actually mapped out and shared with the community. Then we have to create a cycle of making sure that we're reaching out to those in the community that can actually execute. Because when we're talking about bringing in small business, I'm not going to bring in the small business by myself. I'm going to connect with other potential people who want to be small business owners and identify those obstacles, map out the available properties, and see what are the challenges to places getting filled right now, places having their buildings up kept up, and making sure that we're identifying ways to get traffic to those locations. A lot of that comes in by taking a cross-functional look at how we move around the city, what bus routes are there, what type of transit is available, but really looking at what's available to business from a set of supportive services. What do they need? Do they need to tie into CDBG money that can go to small businesses? So making sure I'm also bridging the gap between potential small business owners and the resources that are available but don't always get utilized by those community members that exist in the city. So working together with, even people like yourself, Rob, congratulations on Eden Village, and that's a great project. Not necessarily for economic development, but housing, but all of that creates a strong foundation. The stronger your foundation is, the more you can help with driving businesses. So all of that comes down to identifying the structured plans that we do have, putting those plans out to the public, and constantly creating that feedback loop of reviewing the status of those plans, identifying barriers, and then taking more action to address those barriers so that we can start improving the look and occupancy of our downtown area, our midtown area, our uptown area, really all around the city, with different groups leading those initiatives.
Thank you. That was a great answer, and hopefully, people can see that we do have a critical thinker here with Mr. Vincent, and I'd be honored if we were able to work together to serve the citizens of Harrisburg. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. Myself as well, Rob. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Rob. Okay, we have time for another call. If you want to call in now, 717-889-7181 is the number. Okay, so you all have selected ballot positions, Mr. Vincent. What is your position on the ballot? What number?
So the straw poll is number 2. So I will be number 2 on the ballot. It's a luck of the draw a lot of times. So, yep, Basir Vincent, lucky number 2 on the ballot.
Okay, that's number 2 on the ballot. And there was an old saying, number 2 tries harder. That was some commercial that was on years ago. I guess I'm dating myself, but I'm proud to do that. Okay, also, we don't really like to recognize any other candidate that's running for the same seat, but because you and a former guest is also running for Harrisburg City Council, are running, I believe, as a tandem or a team or whatever the proper word you want to use for that. You and Elise Irvis, I believe, have an event coming up, a meet and greet. Would you like to let us know about that?
Absolutely. So first of all, we are running as a slate, myself and Elise. We're calling ourselves United Neighbors of Harrisburg. And really a lot of that came from us working together. I've had the privilege of working with Elise in several aspects. She actually is, she was crucial to the growth and development of young professionals of color. She has helped us operate from membership chair to our executive officer. So first of all, just big shout out to Elise for a lot of the support that she has provided for us, and we work together well, and collaboration is a big thing. that we want to show that we have the ability to do. And it's a strength of mine, it's a strength of Elise, and we wanted to show an example of that by putting together United Neighbors of Harrisburg, having a united vision for leader. So we have several events coming up. This Sunday, we're actually going to be out on the streets canvassing. So if you'd like to volunteer to help canvass for myself and Elise, we're doing that as United Neighbors of Harrisburg. We're actually meeting at Rice and Beans at 11:45 on Wednesday, April 6th. We
It's
have
a restaurant. Right?
the restaurant Rice and Beans. On April 26th, we have EO Mixer. So we're trying to get all of the people who are in any type of office, to come together. Because again, promoting collaboration. I think it's important that people from the city, people from the state, people from the county, we're all in constant communication. I just went to the State of Dauphin County meeting yesterday at the Hilton, and it was great to hear from our three commissioners, Priest, Douglas, and seeing what the status of our county is. But the key part for us as city council members is being able to listen and understand where can we collaborate with our county officials to make sure that we're really progressing the city and in tandem progressing the county. You can check out us on unitedhbg.org. Also, you can follow us on Facebook at United HBG, or myself, basir.vincent.com, and Basir for City Council on Facebook.
Okay, it's fine. Chris, before we end this segment, do you have another comment or question?
Sure, this isn't directly related to City Council per se, but it does relate to the city of Harrisburg. Juneteenth coming up, brother.
Yes.
What's good? What's popping? What's
Oh
on the
man,
agenda, man?
I am excited. So thank you for shouting that out. And one of the things, I'll loop these in, right? One of the chapters in the comprehensive plan talks about events and culture. And the events that we have here in the city should be representative of us.
Yes, sir.
And that is why I'm so excited that YPOC has led the initiative for several years to have a Juneteenth programming. So our Juneteenth programming, we have more than a week of events set to really, one, just put this city and this area on the map. We actually have the city's first, what we'll say is parade that's focused around Black culture and Black people in the city. So that is led by Eris Smallwood. We have let me get my list up, because
Sure.
I'll be I want to make sure that I highlight everyone, because we have this whole week of events coming up. And I want everyone to tune in. So check out Young Professionals of Greater Harrisburg. You can follow us on Facebook. You can see what we're working on and what we have. So I think you just had it up.
Yes, sir. Let me see if I can.
Because my
Understood. Do you want the agenda, or
yeah,
you want the flyer?
if you
Okay,
put the
gotcha.
agenda up, I'll highlight each one. We have a lot of great people from the community acting as chairs for several of our events and organization. So, really started by that Saturday. That's what I was talking about. That Saturday, June 14th, we have the Juneteenth parade. That is in conjunction with the city. So, again, showing that we have the ability to collaborate with several organizations, with the city, in order to do something so wonderful. We have the St. Patty's Day parade. We want to put Harrisburg on the map and have parades. We want to have floats. We encourage organizations to come and join, be able to represent what Juneteenth means, not just to the city, but to us as Black people. I think it's very important. Then we have our press conference coming up. First, Kendrick Lamar is coming to Hershey,
Really?
and we have a tailgate.
They're not like us.
They're not like us. So we got
Juneteenth parade right here in
Juneteenth
Harrisburg.
parade. We got we'll have a tailgate during the Kendrick Lamar concert. So Kendrick Lamar and SZA. All right, on Tuesday. This is one of my favorite events. We have a Topics Tuesday discussion. When I say building on community, this is one of my favorite events, because we get a chance to really just talk and have difficult conversations. And I always tell my friends we're not friends until we fight a little bit, right? to even Ron's conversation earlier, sometimes when you have these good heated arguments and you're open to listening to people and you challenge your worldview, you can really grow. And we try to cultivate this environment where we do that in a semi-facilitated, so we have free conversation, but we're really going to be talking about the importance of voting and political power in our community, a lot of other things that are coming up. Juneteenth Summit in Harrisburg University. So shout out to Harrisburg University, another great resource in the city. We're going to be holding a summit there. That's going to be several speakers. Elise Irvis is actually planning and executing that. We have I'll say a headliner. We have a guest speaker that's going to be coming. We'll be announcing that shortly. Thursday, the Juneteenth Jubilee. I am super excited. At all of these events, we're going to be trying to bring out local businesses, having people come in and show what we can do. So that is going to be, I think we're going to utilize City Island, and we're going to just really bring a sense of culture to the community. The next event there, A Taste of Black Harrisburg. So we're going to bring people out to the SOMA, and we're going to have, again, several Black-owned businesses. We're encouraging people to reach out. And actually, if you do have a Black-owned business, if you have a restaurant, we want to highlight you, right? We know a lot of the places that bring, great food out here to Harrisburg. We know about Men in the Kitchen. We know about Crawdaddies. We are encouraging people to come and vend with us, share your food, share a taste of Harrisburg, and we want a variety of flavors. We know there's a lot of great food, great local businesses. Again, tying to that question before, how do we build up local businesses? A lot of times it starts with these pop-up shops. It starts with these small events where you can get a booth where you're offering food, and then you grow to eventually have the capacity to have a storefront. It starts here with us coming together, sharing each other's businesses, sharing a taste of Black Harrisburg. And then kind of cultivating, we always say it's like after all of that feast, we got a little bit of a dessert, and that's going to be our Juneteenth concert. Previous years, we've had everyone from Lil Bow Wow, Carrie Hilson, we had RZA, we had a lot of great guests. Right now, we haven't announced a new guest yet. That's led by Yanni Williams and in collaboration with Chris Franklin and handles production. So again, Juneteenth, I really love to highlight everything that we're doing, and it's also a really great example of showing how so many different organizations can come together and collaborate in Harrisburg, and we can do beautiful things.
Okay, and all this is organized by YPOC.
By YPOC. Again, we're kind of the organizing organization, but we can't do this alone, right? We do this in conjunction with so many different individuals who have their own names and brands. And I don't want to just label this, especially for this event. Yes, Kamika Campbell and YPOC are driving the organizational aspect of this, but it doesn't work unless we collaborate with great organizations. The parade doesn't happen unless we collaborate with Ayers Smallwood and the Singers Lounge. The parade doesn't happen unless we collaborate with the city of Harrisburg. None of it works if we don't get funds from Dauphin County, if we don't get funds from a lot of our partner organizations. So yes, we're organizing it, but it truly is a collaborative event. And every year we grow. We do a review process of our planning the previous year, and we find out how do we bring in more organizations to help power this event, because we want it to be Juneteenth. We want it to be one city, one mind, one economic impact.
Okay, let me ask you now about the parade. If there's businesses that want to enter or float into the parade, how will they go about it?
Yes.
Chris, listen up real quick. I can envision a gigantic microphone or something.
Oh, I would love it. I would love if you guys, put in to get a parade. It would be a really good highlight, again, of a great resource in the city. Everything's going to be on Eventbrite. That Eventbrite link is going to go live right now. It's for Juneteenth members, but if you check us out, Juneteenth HBG in Harrisburg, we will be live on Eventbrite shortly. If you follow our Facebook pages, if you follow YPOC hbg.org. You're going to see as soon as those Eventbrite links come live, you can go to any event and register as a vendor, as a guest, but you click on the parade and you can register as a float. Right now, I believe the cost is $100 for a float, but we have several discount packages for nonprofits. And if there's an organization that's struggling for that, we can work with you to try to see if we can get some type of scholarship or sponsorship for a different float or parade. So please check out Eventbrite. We will be sending out those links pretty shortly.
Okay. We thank you. A whole lot of good information there. Folks, you have one more chance to call in before we close the segment out. 717-889-7181. Okay, that's very, very exciting about the Juneteenth ceremonies, and I believe all this is originating right here in Harrisburg. I haven't heard this advertised anywhere else throughout the nation. And so this really, really helps put Harrisburg on the map. Okay, no callers coming in. We're about to close the segment. I don't know. Do you have a closing statement you'd like to make, Mr.?
Absolutely.
And pardon me, I'm going to run to the down here. I'm drinking just a little bit too much water. In all sincerity.
Well, I'm going to take time. One, I appreciate you, Ron. I appreciate this platform. Reaching out to the community and engaging. I'm always extremely excited by how engaged the city of Harrisburg is, especially in this political process. In this year and the following years, we know we have a lot of challenges. I know some people might be upset at the political process. But what I will say is I am excited about our candidates for a variety of positions. I'm excited about the engagement that I see with programs like this. And if you, especially on May 20th, if you come out and you look at what people like myself are saying, people like Elise, people like Rob, a lot of the other candidates, and you really look to make a decision based on the ability that you think that we have to actually execute a vision. I think that's going to be very important because we need to move on that path. We need people who can lay out a vision, understand how to constantly compare that vision to what's currently going on, address the obstacles that come forward. Myself, Basir Vincent, I have 15 years of doing this in a manufacturing facility. Along with those 15 years, I've spent the last 10, 12 working in various aspects through my nonprofit to try to do it for different parts of this city. Now I am really looking forward to you to put me into a position to do this as city council member. So I really keep encouraging everybody to engage. I really hope that you're getting a chance to listen. If you want to hear or find out more about my platform, my program, please check out our Facebook page, check out basir.vincent.com. And if you really like it, what I need, people power. At the end of the day, people power is going to be what moves us forward. So from now until May 20th, it's going to be people power doing a couple things. One, getting people engaged. Please come out to the primaries to vote. Please register to vote if you haven't been registered to vote. And then going into November, it's going to be, again, that getting out to vote, engaging with people, finding ways to really just make our city better. And even after I'm elected, that's going to be another potential challenge is how do we keep the follow through? Because I definitely do not want to be one of those people who gets elected and then people just say, well, what's he doing next? It's about action. And I will continue my trend of following through with action, with describing things, with breaking things down as critically as possible, and then trying to make it make sense for as many people as possible, listening, taking that into account, and then giving people what they need to keep on the plan, making the plan better, and making things as good as they can be. So the city of Harrisburg has a very bright future. If we elect the right leaders, we're going to see a lot of great change coming to the city.
Okay. One more time. What was your degree in?
It was mechanical engineering. I say it's mechanical engineering, and I also got a minor in sociology. I was a couple courses short. I did not have the money to stay another semester, but I was about 400 courses short of a sociology degree, which honestly, between the community work I've done with YPOC, I get a chance to leverage a lot more. But mechanical engineering degree from undergrad with Penn State, and that really, drives that baseline and foundation of critical thinking.
Yeah, we need that intelligence and progressive ingenuity on the Harrisburg City Council. That's number 2 on the ballot, Mr. Basir.Vincent, Harrisburg City Council. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
All right, okay, folks. Moving right along here, we have concluded inviting candidates on. Candidates still can come on, but it'll be at a slight political advertising fee going forward. Everybody was given an opportunity to come on. And so right now what we're going to do, we're going to remember a great boxing legend who passed away this past week. And I believe you have a video of him, Pastor Thomas. And I'm speaking of none other than the great George Foreman. Now, George Foreman, now we have to play this without any audio background because there's a lot of copywritten music that's presented during this video. But this gives you some example of the fighter George Foreman was. He was a devastating fighter. For you young folks, if you like Mike Tyson, well, imagine someone almost twice as big as Mike Tyson and just as fierce as Mike Tyson, and that was George Foreman. George Foreman was a devastating, powerful fighter. A lot of you only know him as far as the George Foreman grill, but I tell you, your father, your uncles, your grandfather can tell you about George Foreman, and so we want to salute him. You know, during those times, during that era, Muhammad Ali was always my hero, but I used to love to see George Foreman fight because he was almost an invincible force. So much so that many of us, when he fought Ali, well, a lot of us were actually afraid that Ali was going to get hurt. But so we just want to salute and recognize George Foreman, the mighty George Foreman. Okay, and also, I'm going to keep these on for a minute because I told you every candidate appearing on the May 20th ballot had an opportunity to come on the all-new Ron Chapel Show to speak directly to you voters, to appeal to you voters and let you know why they should be selected on May 20th. A lot of them, quite frankly, cowered out. A lot of them didn't want to show up. And I'm going to tell you something. Next week, we'll start announcing all the candidates that did come on the all-new Ron Chapel Show during this primary election season, and the gloves will be coming off. The gloves will be coming off, and I've got a lot to say. I've got a lot to say about some candidates that's running for political office with criminal records. There are cases still in court right now, and we want to know the deposition of those cases. And how about a candidate running that's been accused of lying under oath? That wants to represent you here in the city of Harrisburg. So we're going to be speaking about candidates of that such, candidates with extensive criminal records that don't want to try to have those charges pardoned or anything like that, but want to stand up and represent you as leaders here in the city of Harrisburg. So the gloves comes off starting next week, and so we hope that you will continue to tune in. We want to thank you right now. We want to thank Pastor Chris Thomas for owning the Voice 17104. We want to thank our street reporter, Khaldun Scoop Rashid, for his report from the streets of Harrisburg. And we want to thank our very, very special guest, candidate for Harrisburg City Council, number 2 on the ballot, Mr. Basir.Vincent. And we want to thank you for taking the time to view the program, and if you feel it's worthy, please share the program, and we hope to see you again next Thursday at 12 noon here on the all-new Ron Chapel Show. Have a wonderful day.
40 acres in the mule, this is bigger than the music.